Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Everybody, can you hear me? Welcome to Commonwealth's AMA on this lovely Friday, wherever you guys are. Um, we've got Connor up here as always, helping out with the logistics of hosting a Twitter Spaces. Thanks, Connor, as always. And I've got my CEO and CTO, Tony Kelly. He's here as well. Tony will be up on stage with us pretty soon. And we got a couple of really interesting guests as well with us today. We've got curator. I hope I'm pronouncing it okay, but I'm sure Dan will let me know if I'm pronouncing it well or not. Curator has been helping us a lot with this competition that we've been running. Hope everybody's excited to dig into the competition a little bit more. It's been a really fun exercise for us to look at all of the entries. Thanks everyone who's been taking the time to dive into the world of crypto Twitter and blockchain in general to find what you think is the next big unlaunched project, the best kept secret in Web3. And yeah, it's been super interesting. So thanks for everyone who's participated there. Um, Seeing a few of the locals in here. Hi, Serena. Hi, Jan, and a few others here. Looking forward to chatting to you guys later. Let's just give it like 1 or 2 minutes for a few more people to arrive and let us get the panelists lined up here. If anybody's on here with a nice Twitter audience, please tweet out and just let everyone know that we're having our AMA and there's going to be some cool stuff talked about today. So yeah, just help us out there with a tweet and get as many people in here to have some fun as possible. Tony, are you there? Do you want to say hi? Just test your mic, make sure everything's good.
Yeah, hi Tim. Hi everyone.
Yeah, that's coming through well, Tony. 5 on 5.
Nice.
Good to have you here. How are you doing today?
Oh, not so bad. I'm enjoying the nice summer weather in Bucharest this week. So it's a very pleasant Friday afternoon. So I'm happy to be here with you all.
Bucharest. It's hard to keep up with you, Tony. Last time I think you were in Krakow in Poland and Dublin before that, and God knows where else. Uh,
Yeah, I'm
you're
like
getting
a nomad at the moment, aren't I?
no man. I suppose that's what all the best digital entrepreneurs are doing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, well, I'm nothing compared to Ian, right? In the last month or so, he's been where Thailand, Bali, and is now currently on a plane to Australia, right?
Yeah, he's going to all
So,
the nice places though. You're going to all the shitty ones.
I know there's something wrong there somehow. I'm in Eastern Europe and he's trotting around Southeast Asia. Mm.
No, not too bad for either of you. Actually, it's summertime. I shouldn't speak badly of Eastern Europe. I'm sure it's lovely right now.
Yeah, well, actually, and then Kyle is over this side of the world too, right? Was it Hamburg at the moment somewhere?
Yeah, he's in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's escaping the heat over there in Asia, I'm sure.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Just gonna get the rest of the panel up here. We're inviting up curator and also I think Whalecoin Talk is going to join us on stage as well. Acti, I think you're
Yeah.
here. I'm just gonna invite you to the panel as well, so you can say hi. I don't know if it's you or one of your teammates. Just let us know. We'll get started pretty soon. Oh, there's a nice turnout. Plenty of people arriving. So, Acti and Dan, I've had a request from Connor that you please accept your invites up onto the stage. If you're having some technical issues, just let us know. Otherwise, we can start nice and easy today, I suppose. This is an AMA, and I hope everyone is familiar with what an AMA is. Ask me anything, or ask us anything, ask Commonwealth anything. It is not the same as the All Street Beat. All Street Beat is a show that Commonwealth hosts, and that's generally been on Mondays, actually. We had a really fantastic All Street Beat on Monday where we talked about NFTs and how the the bull and the bear have maybe affected people's perceptions of NFTs and what's next for NFTs. Really nice write up on Medium as well, and a nice Twitter thread about that. So anybody who's looking to understand from experts what might be in store for NFTs, and where to look if you're looking to invest or to try to get ahead of the latest trends, then yeah, go and check out the Medium and the Twitter. And next All Street Beat is going to be about sustainable token economies, and this is a topic I think close to everybody's heart who works in Web3. Probably the main reason why projects don't survive is because their token economies are poor, and highly inflationary, and there's way too much supply for the demand, or there's not enough utility. So token economies, stable and sustainable and circular token economies will be the topic for the next All Street Beat, which will be on Monday at the usual time. And then the next All Street Beats after that are going to switch to Thursdays. So anybody who's a normal All Street Beat listener, just note that we will move our All Street Beats to Thursdays. It's a better scheduling for us, and hopefully it'll allow more people to attend. But this is an AMA. It's not All Street Beat. This is just not just. This is the opportunity to speak just about Commonwealth. Focus really on internal and also what's happening around Commonwealth, and a chance for the community to, as the name sort of hints at, ask the team whatever it is they're wanting to ask. If you're on our Telegram chat, you get the opportunity quite regularly, I think, to speak to the team. There's not much of what's the word? A wall, or kind of there's not much of a barrier. There's the word I was looking for. There's not much of a barrier between the Commonwealth team and the community. In fact, it's all street. So we try to live that culture as much as possible and include the community in all of the discussions, and be really transparent and open with the community when it comes to anything really regarding Commonwealth. So if you're on the Telegram group, you're probably quite used to interacting with the core team, the core contributors on there. If you're not on the Telegram, then these are obviously great opportunities for you to listen in, and also if you'd like to raise your hand, ask some questions. I know the Telegram community has been asking a lot about TGE, and of course that's normal. Anybody who's been in the space for long enough knows that these things don't happen super quickly. And if they do, then I think you need to sometimes be mindful of why they're happening quickly. We're working at a really high pace, I suppose, but trying to do things in a very good way as well. So that comes with a sensible outlook, and also looking at the market conditions and everything, factoring all of the different pieces in. But we can talk a little bit about that. What we do want to talk about today a little bit more is how the product is coming along. I think that's way more interesting for most people. So I see that we have Dan on stage. That's great, Dan from Curator. And we're still trying to get Whalecoin Talk up on stage. Acti, or if it's not you, then whoever it is from Whalecoin Talk, just raise your hand and you can jump up on stage whenever you want. I suppose for the time being, we're going to focus on a little bit about Commonwealth. And Tony, I know that you have to get to the airport, so we're going to ask you, I think, to give us just a quick update on how things are going on the dev side, and just a few pointers towards the community. So yeah, over to you, Tony.
No, cheers, Tim. Yeah, we've kind of been working hard over the last couple of weeks. We've got a fairly significant milestone coming up. So there's going to be a couple of reveals and announcements, I guess, over the next couple of weeks. So next week we're going to launch a new video, just a kind of a short run through of how projects and funds will look like inside the application. This will be like a slight evolution on what folks will have seen or glimpsed before in some of the videos. And that's the second of three parts. There will be in the following weeks a third part where we will actually kind of go through some of the due diligence pieces inside the application. But that's post a workshop that we have to have with the team itself. So as I said, that's coming next week, just to give a bit more of a glimpse into things, and you can expect every couple of weeks that there's going to be another kind of glimpse or reveal over the next kind of number of months. I think the two following ones we'll be doing is we'll be showcasing how you'll be able to check the wealth allocation for a given NFT at TGE, and how the whole process of claiming the bonuses and rewards, etc., will work. And then I believe sometime in August, we will be showcasing on the splitting and merging of the fund NFTs. Again, just to give a bit of a sense of what's coming and kind of whip up a little bit of excitement and, of course, to gather some feedback. But more significantly, we are approximately 7 to 10 days away from a very significant milestone. The application and protocol will hit alpha milestone in about 2 weeks. What that effectively means is that at least the first working version of the app from tip to tail is complete. It's feature complete. And at this point, then we're into kind of polishing, refining, and optimizing, and of course, testing. So we're pretty excited by that. And I think, we haven't got an exact time yet, but probably sometime in the second half of July. We are also going to host the first token-gated AMA and reveal for the Genesis NFT holders, where they will actually get to see a working demo of the application and in its current state. So we're pretty excited by that to start gathering the feedback. And then within a week or two after that, sometime potentially early in August, we will actually host the first of a closed beta. Again, for the initially just for the Genesis NFT holders, and potentially later, sometime after that, potentially some more open, depending. So yeah, quite a lot to kind of show and kind of get you guys talking about over the next kind of couple of weeks, and then in pretty short order, you'll actually be able to get your hands on the application and start, pulling it apart and stress testing it and giving us your feedback. So very excited, and of course that's all happening, as Tim said, in parallel with all the, the discussions about layer twos, the preparation for TGE, etc. So busy couple of weeks here at Casa del Commonwealth. And lastly, sorry, I did forget one more. There's a couple of more things bubbling away in the background. We started discussing how we're going to structure the rewards program. Some of that following on from conversations with you folks in the community and some of the inputs that you've been giving to Tim and myself. And in addition, I think we're pretty close to finalising the first curricula for Learn to Earn that we will have at launch. How the actual lessons have been mapped out and are being prototyped. So I'd say that's probably about 30% complete at this stage. So yeah, lots of progress kind of going on in the background, and I guess we're excited to start letting you get your hands on it over the coming weeks. Thanks, Tim.
Brilliant, Tony. Thanks for that. I hope everyone listening was able to grab all of that. It came through really clearly on my end, but there was just a lot of quite interesting pieces there. So don't worry if you didn't catch everything. You can listen back to the recording, or I'm sure there'll be some chat on the Telegram back and forth about some of the things that Tony said. But also there is also going to be or there is now actually live a shared Google Calendar, so you can keep up to date with the different events that are coming up. I talked earlier about the All Street Beat. We want to make sure that you're all up to date on which episode is going to be on a Monday, and then following that is going to be moving to a Thursday. You can just click on the link tree and then onto the Google Calendar and add that into your calendar, whichever application you use. And that'll keep you up to date, and you should get reminders then about when we are hosting these events. So there's the All Street Beat. There will be also the AMAs. We're toying with the idea at the moment of moving AMAs to Telegram video calls or voice calls. And that's just, there's a couple of reasons behind that, but one of them was to differentiate, I suppose, between the All Street Beat show and these kind of AMAs, more regular sort of internal updates. And also because most of our community right now sits in Telegram, and that's where the most active exchanges are happening. And in addition to that, if there are things we want to show, we can do that through Telegram as well. So it's probably the leading choice right now. It's not fully finalized. The details will all be made public soon, and you can use the Google Calendar to keep up to date with the different events that are coming on stream. Sorry, Tony, do you want to say something?
I was just going to say to Tim, I just wondered if it might be worth sharing with the community a thought that yourself, myself, and Ian and Connor kicked around this week, which was potentially, as we're discussing this move to, kind of upgrading, I guess, the engagement with the community, but also trying to get kind of more reliable tech than Twitter Spaces has been, that we're actually talking about, post the closed beta, potentially opening up the community part of the application, which is already built, and kind of beginning to migrate the community in there, where we could have dedicated channels and kind of a lot more options for interactivity. I just wondered if that's something that, be nice to canvas the community on over the coming weeks, and kind of get their take on what they would think.
100%. Yeah, let's get feedback from the community in Telegram on that. I think the sooner we can do that, the better, because it's going to be the home eventually for all of this stuff. So I think as soon as we can, then let's start using the app. Absolutely, sounds amazing, Tony. Um, Cool. Getting some hearts and some thumbs up. So we now have Whale Coin Talk on the stage, and we now have Dan as well from Curator. And I think, let's without further ado, let's turn our sights over to the competition that we've had this week. I know a lot of you guys are here to see who the winner is, but I think we should just talk a little bit about the competition as well, and the spirit of the competition, and also we can have a few words from our co-sponsors or co-hosts of the competition, who was Curator again. And I'm not going to take much of my time and my voice to explain it. Whenever I have somebody from Curator on the stage, they can explain it as well. And then also Whale Coin Talk, who are our partners anyway on Commonwealth. They're part of All Street, and they are Web3 through and through, and Web3 community, I should say, through and through as well. So we can hear from them briefly just about what they've been up to, and also if they've what their thoughts are on the competition, and why they think it's interesting. Yeah, okay. Whalecoin Talk has got a hand up, so I'm gonna go straight over to you. I don't know who it is from Whalecoin Talk. Just introduce yourself as well.
Hi, hey everyone. Yeah, it's Acti here. Yeah, I got my hand up since I'm being called out. Might as well speak up. I love
Nice.
competitions. I love what you're talking about. I love that you're gonna do some video AMAs and all of this, because most people are quite visual. So as much as we love the Twitter engagement and the discoverability on Twitter and all this ecosystem here, I find, well, personally, and the people in my team, that a lot of people like it when it's visual. They like to look at the recordings on YouTube if there's visuals, right? They like to go in these telegrams where you can share your screen. And I'm hoping maybe Daddy Elon is going to do something with Spaces. Doesn't look like it so far, but maybe he'll add something where we can do more than just pin something at the top there, and maybe get people to engage slightly more. And yeah, I'm loving the competition. I'm loving the updates. I love what Commonwealth's doing. Like you mentioned, we're partners. We've been following a long time. Oh, on a personal level, I love the rewards that are coming in for my Series 1 and my Series 2. And I'm just looking forward for the updates. I'm going to be here listening in. I'll pitch in here and there, but I'll let you guys move it along. Don't want to take too much space. But yeah, very, very bullish on Commonwealth. Love what you're doing, and exciting stuff coming from what I'm seeing.
Thanks, Acti. So nice to hear those words, man. Yeah, I think we're all excited about what's going on right now. And, I can't share everything all the time, because, some things need to be a little bit sort of meshed through and, kind of digested before they can be discussed in a bigger forum. But I can definitely say that it's really exciting whenever you're talking to council members and, advisors about specific deals, like investment deals that might go onto a fund on the platform. That's when it starts, that you get the hairs start to stand up on your arms, and you think like, wow, being able to offer that to the Commonwealth community is just so exciting. And we were even talking about a couple of deals this morning which were pretty mind-blowing. Now, whether or not they are able to get onto the platform, because it's really a timing issue. When the first fund is ready, it needs to be kind of timed with the investment round for the portfolio company. But just being able to have that question, can we consider this X opportunity to go onto the platform? Super exciting, and it really reminds you why we're all doing this, why we're all here, because it can sometimes get a little bit ethereal, a bit abstract whenever we're talking about the investment NFTs, the Genesis NFTs. We talk a lot about market conditions. We talk a lot about the wealth token. We talk a lot about everything. But, at the end of the day, this is about giving equal access and equal opportunity. And whenever we're able to, sit here as a VC like MetaVest, talk to Master Ventures and go, oh, we were offered this and this would be really cool to put on the platform. Let's talk to them about getting a ticket for Commonwealth. That sort of thing is so exciting. So yeah, I'm teasing a little bit because I can't go into details just yet, but that's the sort of conversation that we want to get to the forefront more and more and more over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, thanks. You just triggered something in my mind whenever you were talking about the excitement for Commonwealth. We haven't lost the excitement in the team. So anyway, going back to the competition, what I thought was really cool, and I'm going to ask Dan to come in a second. What I thought was really cool about this competition was, and it only really started to become real for me when I was looking at the entries that the community was posting, and I was like, holy crap, like the amount of alpha and conviction as well and interest in the crypto Twitter and let's say the All Street community on what constitutes a viable investment or something exciting is so compelling and so interesting when you're reading through the different entries, and not just the entries, but the logic behind why people find things interesting. It really reinforces to me the added value and the USP of what Commonwealth is trying to do, which is to bring that crypto Twitter, elevate it and let it meet the institutions somewhere in the middle on All Street, right? That's what we're trying to create. And when you read this stuff in the community and the actual, kind of the conviction, the engagement, the interest, it just makes me feel like there really isn't a lot of difference often between the institutional VCs and the crypto Twitter. All we're missing really is the right forums and the right technology to bring all that together. So I was super excited and really blown away by some of the entries. And, just as someone who's a bit of a nerd when it comes to doing due diligence and looking into new opportunities, just thank you. It was really cool. I think we can do more of these competitions. If you have any ideas for similar types of competitions, then please feel free to post those ideas into the Telegram or on Twitter or whatever. But yeah, just really cool to read the entries. So thanks everybody who contributed. Dan, let's unmute you and tell us a little bit again about Curator and why we're sort of collaborating on something like this, and then we can take it forward.
All right. Hey guys, thanks for having us. So Curator is a decentralized rating review platform, and we are powered right now by almost 50 analysts and growing. And our real value is that we can look at a lot of projects quickly, or we can look at a couple projects very deeply, very quick. We all know that it takes hours and hours to do your own research, and just to dive into certain aspects of a project, you can spend, let's say, 2 hours, and that doesn't cover everything. You could just look at the team or the tokenomics, or you could look at the idea, the technology. So what we're able to do is have a collective of people that spend an hour or two each, look at a project, and more or less put out maybe 20 to 30 man hours, rather quick worth of research reviews on a project, and give you very diverse opinions. Almost everybody on the good projects will agree, and then we've got these projects that will be split right down the middle. But I think as somebody that wants to come out somewhere, our ultimate goal is to try and eliminate all of the shilling that goes on and all this influencers that are just pumping stuff that they're getting paid to on the backside to promote. We want to have genuine reviews that you can trust. And if you're not sure about a project, come on out to our platform and you can look it up. We've got confidence factors. So if it has a high confidence, that it's been reviewed by a certain number of analysts and a certain number of the categories have been reviewed. And so that's about us. And we're kind of hand in glove here with Commonwealth. Obviously, I'm an investor in Commonwealth. I've got both of the NFTs and very excited about the project and know some of the team. But we would be very good at helping top funnel. If they've got 10 projects they want to look at, they could come over to us and say, hey, what do you think about these 10? And we can give a quick opinion on them. We can give a very deep opinion on a couple of them pretty quick, and just be a tool that Commonwealth can use along with all of their own expertise to make sure that the top projects, the ones that have the best ratings across the board, are making it to the investors.
That's awesome, Dan. Thanks a lot for that. I'm glad actually that you were able to be on the panel today, because I'm conscious that Tony, our CTO, who's just talked about our app and all the features that we're getting ready to launch and stuff like that. And one of the things is around the due diligence, and we still need to have the discussions, I suppose, going forward, a little bit about how to mesh the two different systems somehow. So. Yeah, this is. I mean, it's very premature.
Told me
We still need to
about
have discussions.
Curator and kind of how they worked, and described it like it's this kind of trust pilot for Web3, and immediately saw the value and potential complementarity with what we're trying to do. We have a couple of other partnerships and integrations that we're looking at on the back end, and I think from the quality of what I've seen on Curator as well, I think he'd be a perfect fit, and I think, as you mentioned, top of funnel would be perfect. I think the timing for an engagement is kind of really good, because I can just see nothing but a value add for the community to be able to get to a certain baseline understanding of a topic or a particular project at the proposal stage, and just help make the whole process that much more efficient and scalable. It's a fantastic idea, I think. So I'm very excited with it.
Nice. Thanks, Tony. Now back to the competition, guys. I know that people are here and they want to know who's actually won. Yeah, I can sort of give you a little bit of anticipation and tell you that I believe the person who won is actually here right now, which is also quite exciting. So we will invite that person up onto stage after we announce the winner. But I just want to give a quick background to the competition again, the methodology as well. So the methodology for the competition was, first of all, we would like you to give us 3 unlaunched, so not projects that are already launched with a trading token and that you can see on CoinMarketCap with trade action and things like that. So they need to be unlaunched, so they're kind of pre-market, if you would. 3 of those, and also reasons, or like, what is your rationale that you like them? What is it about these projects that excites you? I think that's really important. And then also, of course, the usual of tagging 3 friends or 3 Twitter accounts and liking the Twitter page. If you didn't do the requirements, the base requirements, then unfortunately you don't qualify to win. But what we were going to do then was, the first thing would be for us as Commonwealth, also Curator and Whale Coin Talk, just to have a look at the entries, the projects that were identified as potentially hot projects for the next bull run, unlaunched projects. We were going to look at those and we were going to pick out the projects that we felt were strong, right, of the ones that were mentioned. And the winner is going to be a person who mentioned one of those projects, but also did the other requirements. And then if that was a tie, let's say that more than one entry mentioned the project that we also liked, and they also met all of the requirements, then it was going to come down to, how strong was the insight or the justifications for why these projects were good. That would be kind of like the tiebreaker, if you would. Okay. So hopefully that's reasonably accepted, reasonably understood. I know we've had some discussions in the past around Commonwealth competitions. We do need to come up with comprehensive terms and conditions for each competition. I do know that, but these things are supposed to be light touch in that sense, even if there is, even if there has to be a clear winner in the end of the day. So I hope everyone's with me, understands the logic of the competition. And on that basis, well, first of all, I just want to say there's someone who's got their hand up. Happy to invite you up onto stage, Krim, but just not right now, because we're going to finish off this little piece and then we'll move into the AMA, where community can dig into anything they've heard or ask a separate question. But for now, if we can get a drum roll, I'm going to announce the winner of the competition. The winner was an entry from Napoleon Assets. And Napoleon Assets, you have identified Pep Coins, Zen Crypto, and Velodrome Finance, and of those three, Curator also really liked and thought it was very interesting, the Zen Crypto project, and it was that project that we identified as the one that we would like to profile as the result of this competition. And your entry, not only did it meet all the criteria, it had Zen Crypto, but also we liked the way we gave you the justifications you gave in your response. So that your tweet is actually getting pinned right now by Connor, and we're going to invite you up onto stage. You're actually on the stage already, and for those of you who know the community of Commonwealth quite well, this is good. This is more than just a win for Napoleon. Napoleon, I understand, didn't get a Genesis One NFT and has been trying really hard for the last months to figure out a way to win. And I believe it's Jan. So if you want to unmute yourself, Jan, and just tell us a little bit about why yeah, just give us your reaction. How does it feel, bud?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm speechless. I'm very excited, and my heartbeat is up a bit. And first of all, I want to apologize that I tried so hard. I know, like, one should take life easy, but it is what it is. Money is also important, so here I am. Put my entry in after like an exhaustive learning period for an exam. And yeah, my three picks are, I agree, they are very interesting. Like, I sincerely believe that, like, my first pick, like Peppercoins, everyone now thinks, oh wow, a meme coin, what is that, you know? But it's actually really interesting. I don't know everything about it in depth, but what I know is that it's really like the OG Peppercoin. It was launched in 2016. It has a really deep history, and the team is building, so it's not comparable to like the Peppercoin, the Pepe everyone is talking about, which sits at like the hundreds of millions in market cap. And so what I really believe is like when the normal Pepper takes off, goes to like 10 billion market cap, this Peppercoins, which I suggested, will have an unbeatable run. You can't imagine that. And then like my number two picks, Xen Crypto, I shared this opinion with some other people, and yeah, it's just amazing. Like it really stands out compared to other projects because it really highlights like the principles of crypto, you know, which got lost in recent years somehow. And my number three pick, it had a big update last week, like Velodrome Finance. It's like the kind of liquidity hub of on Optimism. I get like some I don't know, $150 a month in passive income with only like 5K invested, and there's like I actually made a 5X. I only put in like 1K a few months ago, like 1 year ago, and with 5X, it actually made a 15X, but I couldn't sell because I had my funds locked for 4 years. But still, I get like some passive income there. And actually, this Velodrome story has also like some connection with Commonwealth, because there I learned when I only put in 1K in this passive income play where knew, okay, I will have some nice passive income. I thought with Commonwealth, wow, I don't want to repeat this mistake. So I went heavier into Commonwealth, and gladly we had months over months to mint. Yeah, that's all I can say right now. Thank you.
Nice, John. Well, congratulations. Well done. I just want to clear up a little bit of confusion that's going on. We didn't discount entries that had launched projects, but if they were unlaunched, we preference them because they're a lot better kept secrets. There are things that can really kind of, let's say, be compelling to discuss. In terms of due diligence. Commonwealth is going to be all about unlaunched projects. In the end of the day, trying to get private investment deals. So that was where we put the emphasis. But no, you weren't like disqualified if you didn't if you had listed a project which had a trading token. Sorry for just want to clarify that. Well done, Jan.
Yeah, big
Congratulations.
congrats.
You're finally a Series 1 holder, and yeah, please look after that Series 1. We've had some difficulties. One of our community had some difficulties with their wallet, so I hope everybody is taking precautions and being very safe with their cybersecurity and how they're handling their keys. It's a lesson to everybody. But yeah, congratulations, Jan. Well done.
Yeah, well deserved. Actually, Jan is one of the been active since the beginning, and he's one of the community members who, behind the scenes, sends me messages and keeps me on my toes. So big thanks to Jan and everyone else who's been so passionate about Commonwealth since day one. Thanks a million.
Yeah, agreed. But just to be clear, it was Jan's entries that we liked, or at least very much liked Zen, which was the project that Curator is going to highlight. And you can go onto the Curator website and you can read a bit more about that project. Dan, do you want to give us a quick TLDR about what it is you thought was interesting, and just to follow on from Jan's explanation?
Sure. So obviously, let me just first say that I'm sure that trying to make a quick decision the day before or the day of announcing the winner is not going to be the normal modus operandi here. But we were able to have a few analysts look at this. And when I talked about being split down the middle, that's kind of where we came in. There were a couple analysts that looked at it and aren't very thrilled with it. And then myself and Blues Fire, who was actually, I think, on this call as well, we both looked at it, and we're discussing it together. At first, we were like, I'm not sure. But then as we started to dive into it a little bit, it's very different. This project, and I'm sure a lot of you might have heard about it. It's pretty popular in the social space, but it is basically been launched by a guy named Jack Levin, who is an OG, one of the first Google employees and an OG Bitcoin miner. And it was put out with, trying to embrace that philosophy. And I don't know if everybody knows Good Dollar, but it reminds me a lot of Good Dollar, where you just kind of logged in and you got some tokens every day. I have to say, with my fellow analysts, the whole goal that we do with these quick reviews is to just look at them quickly. So at first glance, I agree, this thing's a little sketchy, but if you take time and look at it and start to peel it back a little bit, it's very intriguing. So I think what most people would think is that, wait, it's free to mint this token, so that doesn't make any sense. How could that have any value? But that's exactly what they intended, was that it would start with zero supply and then it would be minted. And depending on how long you're willing to wait for your token, between as little as a day, I believe you can set to 1 day, to as long as about 400 days, depends on how many tokens you get. And you can mint it on any EVM chain you want. And our multiple chains, I minted a bunch across different EVMs. And if you do not go back on the day that you're supposed to get your token, so 400 and some days from now will be November something 24, it decays. So if you wait more than 7 days, your tokens are gone and you don't even get to claim them. So a very interesting thing. Now, I would say to all of the naysayers out there that talk about the intrinsic value, there was some point when maybe we traded seashells, right? And they didn't have any value. But I'll use Good Dollar first. Good Dollar came out, and that's what a lot of people said. This doesn't have any value. Why do people collect it? But sure enough, they started a marketplace, and before long, people were trading goods and services for Good Dollar, and it became valuable. While this is a free token to mint, right now there's in between about $3 million and $4 million a day in trading value. So this token is far from worth nothing. It may be free to mint, but it has value. And it is actually only got a market cap of about 19 million. So to be trading 3 to 4 million a day with that market cap is an amazing ratio. So, there's all kinds of beautiful things to look at. Keeping this too long, didn't read. I will probably leave it at that. But please come on out. I will be doing an in-depth review on the idea and the technology. And the other thing that's very interesting is they are going to be building a layer 1 blockchain that's called X1, which will be 100% owned by the public. There's no team tokens, no investors. And that's something this space probably could use with all of the high valuation L1s that are out there right now. So anyway, that's my take on it. Hope you enjoy the reviews on our site. Thanks for the opportunity to look at it here for your contest.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks very much. That's really useful. Yeah, and just to sort of re-emphasize what Dan was saying, this isn't going to be the normal kind of case where, kind of we turn out an assessment or a view on a project or various projects so quickly. This is more just for the sake of the competition and to get the discussion going and to kind of trigger the idea that the community is a valuable asset when it comes to not just finding, but also assessing, the intrinsic value of projects and their underlying tokens when we're talking about cryptocurrency projects. So yeah, I think it was a very interesting exercise. I love the competition. I'm super happy that we got a winner who's part of the community as well, even if that wasn't fully the intention. It's just a nice add-on. Okay, we're gonna close that off and then move to the AMA. So this is the part when anybody who's listening can put up their hand, come on stage, and just ask the team. Tony's here; he has to leave. He's got a hard stop in a few minutes to go to the airport. But let's hear from Crimson. Crimson.
Crimson, you got it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Crimson.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, thanks. Glad to hear everyone's doing good. Congratulations to the winner. Happy for them. I was just curious, when the app comes out and everyone gets to stress test that, is that going to be only for holders of both Genesis 1 and 2? I'm only a Genesis 2 holder. I didn't get in time to get the first one. I am looking for someone that may want to sell me one, but yeah, that was my question about the app.
I don't think we've quite finalized exactly how many betas we'll have, but we've promised at least one that all the Genesis NFT, both Series 1 and Series 2, could partake in. So I suspect at the moment we'll probably do a second one that would just be open to the public in general. But I'm not sure. It's also possible that the first one will just be for Gen 1 holders and the second one for Gen 2 holders. We haven't quite finalized the details yet, but for sure, all the Gen NFT holders will get an opportunity to partake in the closed beta for sure, before it's public.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's really all I had a question about. And really great job, everything you guys are doing. I like the vibe. And I like seeing those wealth rewards stack up and everything, the tokens and everything. It's a really cool idea.
Nice. Thanks, Crimson. Welcome to All Street. If you just came in on the second NFT, that's totally fine. You're still in very early. Trust me. This is not it's not a quick turnaround of a project. We're here for a long time, and in the bigger picture, you're still one of the very earliest people to know about Commonwealth. So yeah, great to have you here. Thanks for the question. Any other questions from the community? Is there any other hands needing to go up? It's not like we don't have hundreds of people here, but we can definitely take a couple more questions. We got one from Serena and then one from Dan. Yeah, go ahead, Serena.
Hello, everyone. Good morning from where I am. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. So I have, congratulations to Jan as well for the NFT. I'm very happy he won. Okay, I have two questions about the NFT. So I did ask them in the group, but I didn't get, solid answer, but I decided to ask them for the AMA. So my first question is about the original OG NFT that it does not have the utility. My question was that because it's not the upgraded version, does it also qualify for the profit share, or does it require needing to be upgraded in order to qualify for the profit share? And so that was the first question. The second question about the NFTs, or that if a person wants to unstake and move the NFT to another wallet, do those staked rewards or accumulated rewards follow the NFT wherever it goes? Or is it going to be regenerated in the new wallet with a new staking? So that's the two questions I have for the NFTs. Thank you.
Can I take these, Tim?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one, Serena, if I understand you correctly, you're asking about the unupgraded Series 1s, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Yeah, so the unupgraded S1s have no utility whatsoever until they're upgraded. There's no recognition of them on chain. So you will need to upgrade the Series 1s to be able to do any of the associated utility, whether it's claiming rewards, staking rewards, claiming your wealth allocation, and also revenue share. So I'd urge you to upgrade as soon as possible and start staking. That's kind of one of the main reasons we wanted to do the staking for rewards piece, was to encourage folks, because the difficulty with NFT technology, as you know, and without us having a kind of a platform which has knowledge of who has what NFT, is that I've no way to communicate with the former the NFT holders. So we're planning on doing the staking rewards as the first step of encouragement, and then we're also going to upgrade the media and the NFT in the next week or two with a big deprecated warning on it to encourage people to upgrade as soon as possible. Does that answer that question for you?
Yes, sir, perfectly answered. Thank you so much.
And could you remind me again, your second question was, about
Yes, sir.
transferring the NFTs, wasn't it?
Yes, and do
Yeah.
the originally staked rewards follow the NFT for the transfer to a new wallet, or does it have to start over again?
It's neither, actually. Because of a snafu, what was meant to happen was the rewards were meant to follow the NFT, but actually the rewards follow the wallet at the moment. So if you unstake now, I'm going to have to check with the dev team actually and figure out what will happen. When you restake the NFT from a new wallet, what exactly, or which wallet rather, do the rewards go to? So I'll have to follow up for that for you on Monday and come back to you. I'm
Okay,
not
thank you
100%
so
sure,
much.
basically, is the answer. Apologies.
No problem. Thank you so much. That's all I have.
No problem.
Thanks, Serena. As always, great questions. Brilliant. Well done. Dan, you got your hand up. I assume you're speaking now as Dan, NFT holder, rather than Dan, curator.
Well, absolutely. I'm wondering, since kind of tying in this contest, there were so many amazing suggestions out there, and a lot of times these alphas, as you said, these gems get recommended word of mouth when they're very, very early. What could Commonwealth do to, have a place where people could make these recommendations other than just posting it in Twitter and hoping that someone on the team picks it up? Is there some, maybe formal place in the app or the website that, something could be done? And then obviously people that submit it, might like to get some kind of props for that, or, some kind of, token bonus, or who knows, right? You could reward them somehow for bringing an amazing project that nobody else knows about yet. Because I believe there's something along the lines of about 7,000 or 8,000 projects out there in early stage creation and funding. So I'm sure there's, an opportunity there.
Super great question, actually. I love that. Tony, I think you've unmuted yourself. I think you want to give a go at this one.
Well, I do. It's because it's funny. As you know, Tim, we discussed this ourselves during the week. So there were some plans in place already, and we're considering adding some more. So basically, we have the community fund set up for exactly this purpose, because part of our mission is to not just provide the kind of the opportunity, but also provide the structure around due diligence and crowdfunding and promotion. But we also want to bring in this whole element, which has been neglected, we believe, of education. So, very much being aimed at a retail investor, and very much being aimed at mainstream. We know we need to add on we need to help build transparency and trust, and, bring in some kind of guardrails, I guess, in places. So one of the things we've talked about is that the community fund, once the funds are returning some profit, we'll initially seed the community fund for the community to start using their wealth tokens and putting them to work on projects that they surface, and that pass through some level of due diligence through the community, and then get proposed and funded through the community fund. However, we're also discussing at the moment, when we have the investment council in place, at what point should we, or how should they engage or take input from the community vis-a-vis deal flow that may be outside it may or may not fit the thesis of the various funds that are in existence. So that might actually spur a discussion then around setting up a new fund, or bringing projects in that would have been not surfaced to the council. So we're trying to figure out what that mechanism, what that engagement might look like, and at what point we would try to build in a degree of automation around that. But certainly, really, that's why we have the community embedded right in the heart of the application itself. We want that very tight feedback loop, if you like, between projects, the community, and the council. So I hope that answers your question to some extent.
Dan, covered?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I figured you guys had it covered. It was just amazing how many different projects got mentioned, and just to keep this kind of momentum up. I know you guys are very talented, and you've got your eyes on a lot of fantastic projects already, but there's always that sleeper out there that nobody saw coming, right? So,
100%. I mean, some of the community raised now I hadn't heard of. I'll have to be honest. So it just goes to show where the gold is. It can be found.
Yeah.
Totally agree there. We've actually got Whalecoin talk here. Acti, I mean, you guys are experts in community more than, kind of the whole, let's say, venture capital or whatever it is, the topic that we're specializing in. But when it comes to community, are there, we've had this discussion on All Street Beat, I suppose, is, we have Twitter, and this is where a lot of this stuff happens, but it doesn't happen in a very organized way. So I suppose this is why we're building Commonwealth. And to a large extent, it's about providing that infrastructure, like Tony talked about, where all of these things can happen. So if we're missing something and we're not doing it well, then we need to know. But in your experience, Acti, is there platforms, or is there like parts of Twitter where this type of information is kind of easily accessible, because it's the alpha. It's what everyone wants and is searching for, but sometimes you have to be on these channels 24/7, and sometimes get lucky as well. Is there good discussions, or kind of Twitter Spaces, or where do you go to find that type of information?
Yeah, thank you for the appreciation there, but I gotta say, you guys are doing it the right way. So crypto Twitter is great. Telegram channels, people go on LinkedIn to connect. There's so many ways to network and find the alpha. But what I did want to mention, and I'm glad you actually called me on, is that what you've shown with this competition is not only just the power of community, because everybody understands the power of community. Everybody sees the fan tokens, the meme tokens, and everything like that. But what you've shown is the power of channeling attention from your community, because what we're trying to do here is educate people not to be careful with their money, but actually to be careful what they spend their attention with. And that's important, because if we want to grow the Web3 space, if we want to grow the whole crypto space, we need people to pay attention to the right stuff. So now Commonwealth has great experience in the venture capital world. So not only will be able to have access to cool DeFi tools in the early stages that will benefit us, but we'll actually be able to invest in them early on. So it's super exciting, and it's not just onboarding the masses and showing them something cool. It's actually channeling people's attention in the right direction, because that's for us, this is what we've learned from doing all these spaces and engaging with everyone on Twitter and on Telegram, on all these channels, YouTube, everywhere. Whatever you give your attention to will grow. So beyond spending money and all of this, you need to be careful what you do with your attention. And then of course, if you have something as simple as an app on your phone where you have this super fun curated experience for the average user, where they don't need to spend hours and days and weeks on researching stuff that they finally might not even understand, but they'll have experts backing it, they'll have a community backing it, they'll have developers, designers, everything to just say, okay, this is a tool that I'm using myself, that is good, and is going to be great in a year or two or whatever. And it's not just that, but we actually can vote on it through some DAO or something, or we can do it. There are so many things that people just don't realize, that we're just at the start of this journey. And onboarding those billions of people into crypto, and your grandma and your grandpa is fine, but You got to take a look at the youngsters as well. You got to take a look at these new people coming in. You know, they're not your average degens. They're not your necessarily Pepe lovers and all this. You know, they're curious about the tech. They want to learn. They want to build apps. They want no code solutions. They want tools. And I guess this is the vision that I'm seeing for Commonwealth. You know, being this hub where people can go discover cool things, cool tools, cool DeFi applications, and use them. You know, and if you want to invest, well, go for it, right? But more importantly, it's what you've shown and through this competition too, that channeling attention in the right direction is super important. So I think you're doing great. When it comes to spaces, there's no shortage. I'm sure your network's full of spaces day in and day out. Now you got to be careful with your attention, like I said. So you guys are doing great. I think you're doing great. I think you still have the enthusiasm that we saw, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago, when you guys were just getting started. So this for me is something super bullish, and I love the direction. I love that the communities can't wait for the app. You know, I'm a happily Series 1 holder myself, so I'll be joining and seeing what's going on there. So I'm excited. I hope you do more of these competitions in the future too, because it drives great engagement. And yeah, crypto Twitter is where it's at the moment, I guess. So there's some apps out there, some decentralized apps that are trying to replicate this sort of gated communities, or ungated sometimes, but still the majority of people are around Twitter and the social media. So yeah, thank you for also for having us on, and it's great to be on this journey with you guys.
100%. Thanks so much for that, Acti. You said a lot of things that are pretty profound. I know we're finishing up now, and we're going to wish Tony a safe flight over to Dublin. Cheers, Tony. Thanks very much for that. But one of the things you said, which really struck a chord, is you know, not only do you have, well, I think I don't want to try to like put words in your mouth, but essentially giving a channel for the focus, and that's exactly what we believe Web3 should bring. It's more than just information, and it's more than just being social with that information. It's taking it to the next level and doing something with that, or you know, allowing that to be leveraged for, you know, kind of the individual's benefit. And Alan, who is one of our core contributors, he used to work at Google and Meta as well. He said this really profound thing once to me when we were together in a team meeting, and he was like, you know, for me, the first generation of the internet was all about, you know, getting information and making it available on scale, which was, you know, the first time we heard of the internet somehow. The second iteration of the internet is really about socializing that information, you know, and, you know, Meta was huge with that, Google as well, like making groups and coming together. And the third iteration should really be about taking the information and taking the ability to be social around it, and then making that possible to do something with, to make that, you know, interesting. And, you know, you can work with that information, or you can mobilize it for investment, or for financial gains. And it's all about individuals being able to do that, rather than the institutions who have been taking advantage of that previously. So, you know, this really speaks a lot to the Commonwealth ethos and value proposition. So I'm super happy to end the spaces on that note. So thanks for that, Acti, and as always, we're happy to have you as part of All Street as well. Guys, thanks very much. It was great having everyone on here, and congratulations again, Jan. We've come to the hour. I promised to keep it to 1 hour because you know, I think people have got things to do today. So happy weekend to everybody, and see you all on the Telegram chat. Take it easy.